Darlene Morgan here, and today we're going to talk about what you need to know if you're named as the trustee on your parents' trust. So, of course, it's flattering, it's an honor to be named in such a role of responsibility as the trustee of your parents' trust. That means that you were the person that mom or dad decided would be the best and most capable and most trustworthy in handling this important job. But you also are going to want to know, what does that really mean and what will that job entail? So that's what we're going to talk about. As a trustee, you would be the one who'd be legally responsible for administering the assets or financials of the estate if mom or dad became incapacitated or passed away, if you're named as the successor trustee. You have to follow the instructions of the trust, and you have a fiduciary duty to the beneficiaries of the trust, which means that you could be sued if you did not handle things properly. You do have to inform yourself. There's no, ignorance is not a defense. You have to make sure that you are following the instructions of the trust, as well as the letter of the law of what's required of a fiduciary under California law. And there are quite a few laws and rules that you would want to know about so that you could make sure that you're following everything properly. Sometimes trustees have to make hard decisions. So on what to sell or how to invest, or, everything's not perfectly clear cut in terms of administering the trust assets. Sometimes those decisions are unpopular with other family members. And of course, if there's been any sibling rivalry or family drama, now is the time when that will come out in full force, when it's a stressful time sometimes, and when one sibling is looking at overseeing or second guessing the decisions of you as the trustee. So what else do you need to know before you agree to take on the job? Well, you're going to want to know what the duties of the trustee are. You're going to want to know what the terms of the trust are, what it really means, because you'll need to administer the trust under those terms. You'll want to know whether you're supposed to take on your role as trustee when your parent becomes incapacitated, or only after they pass away. Those are often different time periods when you may be named or not named. You'll also want to know that if you make mistakes, then you could be held personally liable for those mistakes, which means that your personal assets could be at risk. Administering a trust can be complicated. You're going to have to know what is required of you under state law. You're going to need to provide notice to beneficiaries. You gather the estate assets. You need to sometimes get appraisals or document the values of those assets. You need to make sure that you've noticed creditors and collected whatever the debts of the estate may be, and determined who needs to be paid out of the estate, including taxes, filing and paying usually state tax returns. Perhaps a federal estate tax return may be needed. And if you didn't fulfill any of those duties, then again, you could be putting your personal assets at risk. So the qualities that a trustee must possess are things like loyalty, fairness, integrity. Definitely you need to be organized and thorough, as well as mental toughness, meaning you need to be able to withstand some of the pressures of maybe other beneficiaries, or the pressures of the level of responsibility of the job. Trustees often need help And usually it is wise to seek out an attorney with experience who can guide you through the process and who can make sure that you've thought through everything, make sure that you are complying with all the laws, help you navigate with the beneficiaries as well as with the creditors. So if you need help ensuring that you're following the terms of the trust and that you are doing the job correctly, then please feel free to reach out to our firm. That is something that we would help with. We help with regularly, as well as perhaps a trust review, a review of the trust with you in anticipation of what the jobs you would need to do so that you can decide whether you need to hire an attorney or not.